So, dude, what is going on, man? How's it been the last couple days?
You know what? Things are going really, really well. Enjoying just a little bit of downtime and ready to prevent a little bit of nerds. And you know what? I think I feel like I'm someone that maybe is the watcher of the uni. No, no, maybe the
Mm,
protector of space. No,
mm.
no. I think it needs some alliteration. Maybe
I
some
mean,
like
you're
maybe a G a, a, a guarding something.
you're guarding the bed,
Guard, you know what?
guardians of the bed.
Because underneath that bed
Mm,
is that box that you may slowly
yes,
pull out. And with that,
and put it back in really fast.
that, that could hurt someone.
That
Okay.
was
So
one.
so little boys and little girls, isn't that where story time with B and Brad? Yeah, there are certain things that you do not do as quickly as possible. And with that, sir, yeah, what about you? Save us for ourselves.
Oh man, it was an eventful day. So I went to the barber that you suggested, and it
Yes.
was amazing. Let's
Looking
shout out.
fresh to death, my friend.
Yes, man. Kelly, Madison, buddy, man, you rocked it. You were awesome. I would still have the do, but I had to mow. I got all sweaty. And then Kaylee ran over a screw. She didn't say screw it, so we had to get a new tire put on. The bad
Ah.
part is we just put a new tire right there 5 weeks ago.
Oh yeah, yeah. My kid mowed the lawn today, and then I forgot that somewhere along the way we lost the gas cap to ours. So it's only been like winter, and I
Yeah,
forgot to buy a new gas cap. So that will be the adventure tomorrow. So welcome to.
nice.
So folks, it's not all about talking about superhero movies. Sometimes you just got to mow that lawn.
Right, that's why I'm drinking the piss beer. Drinking the piss beer.
Yes, sir. Yes,
I,
sir.
the Coors Light is what it is today. Ugh. What is your show of the week?
My show of the week has been I've been binging slowly so I don't
Mm,
overdo it. I've been binging the second season of Sweet Tooth, which is outstanding. So folks, if you've not checked out Sweet Tooth, it is a really excellent, it's really kind of a take on if the world ended because of a virus. That might be a thing. And then we saw the connection between maybe these animal hybrid kids and the adventures of Sweet Tooth and the
mm,
Big Man. And you know what? When I see Big Man, I feel a kindred spirit. So
yeah,
maybe for Halloween, I'm gonna go as Jeopard. Maybe I'll go as Big Man. I can get like a little scar. I can sweat profusely even when it's snowing. I think I can roll with that. But only Bradley if you will don some deer antlers and ears. Can I count on you, sir?
absolutely, man, absolutely. I will don the deer antlers. We're not down too far in the south. We're just in Iowa. We're still a little deer still run free.
And hey, just make sure you don't cross the street too slowly. All
Right,
right.
right.
Yes, yes, yes.
I'm one speed, man.
Yeah. But if we ever was basically with Sweet Tooth, it is really the story of what if Santa got drunk one night off eggnog and spent a little too much time in the stables with Rudolph.
That's fair. That is 100% fair, man. I have not checked out season 2 yet. I am gonna rewatch season 1
Sure.
and but then go into season 2. The problem is two things.
Yes.
One is Grey's Anatomy. My wife, Kaylee, and everybody has been watching Grey's Anatomy. On the flip side of
Which
that,
means you're watching Grey's Anatomy.
yes, they all. I say they, but I really mean we are in the final season. And dude, man, like the first several seasons of Grey's is actually really good,
Okay.
and then it just like goes off, and it just goes. It's like you're Wile E. Coyote. You've
All right.
already ran past the end of the cliff, and you
Gotcha.
keep on going, and you keep on going, and for some reason, he's going up instead of down,
Down.
but
Gotcha.
ready for that huge fall. So
Gotcha. Gotcha.
yeah,
Well,
although
you ever wonder why Wiley and Elmer Fudd didn't team up?
I never did, but dude,
It seems like, you
that
know
should
what? It seemed like if Wiley and Elmer would have like that would be like the real Legion of Doom. If you pulled up
Right?
like Wiley Coyote, Elmer Fudd,
Mhm.
Sylvester, you got that whole group in there together. Whoever was Speedy Gonzalez's nemesis, like I don't know, Trump. Just whoever would be, against the very
Yeah.
fast Latinos. I feel like the government. I feel like that would make that would be like where those shows could have really like taken the spot. Like
Mhm.
give me that, and of course Elmer would have told everybody to be really really quiet, almost like if your parents were downstairs and you're upstairs and you sneak into their room and you slowly pull out the box underneath the bed. And a la Brad Pitt in Seven, we all want to know
What's in the box?
what's in the box.
Yes. Very good. So my show is Citadel.
Yes, your show. Yes, let's do that. What's your show of the week?
My show is Citadel, and it's just good. I haven't watched the third episode yet.
All right.
Because I've been playing Jedi Fallen or Jedi Survivor.
Yes.
And that is awesome. Anyway, we are doing a tribute episode of Guardians of the Galaxy. Is it safe to say that is both of our movie of the week?
It has to be the movie of the week, sir.
All right, well, let's get into it. Let's play that funky music. Oh, wait. You know what? My Jube Jube. Welcome to the Fandemic. This is a podcast that celebrates all the things that are awesome. Every week, we will give you everything to level up your awesome. In a Lone Star, I go through the best bad reviews that I can find based on title alone. In Prevenge of the Nerds, we tell the stories that could have happened before and after your favorite movies, TV shows, and so much more. And in the Fandemic, we look at supporting cast properties we adore, or we tribute our favorite actors, movies, and so much more. Plus, I have interesting conversations with amazing people all the time. I'm the self-proclaimed Emperor of Awesome, Bradley Butin, and this is the unverified twin of Shamar Moore in the nipples, the unverified twin of Dwayne The Rock Johnson in the eyebrows, and the unverified twin of Drax the Destroyer in the head wrinkles.
Drax the dad right here.
And what's your name, Drax?
Brian S. Dennis. So the S stands for Counter Earth.
Jube Jube.
I Jube you too, bro.
But that is going to make a shirt.
That dude, how that is going to be the new thing that you're going to see. By the way, I saw that Guardians already is the third highest grossing movie of the year after one weekend, just because it's Guardians, and basically people go, let's go to the movies now. So it was a legendary film.
Man, and I mean Chris Pratt, man. I mean he's still riding high with Super Mario. So
yes. So
and there's not much. There's not really much competition this weekend, because this weekend we have Book Club Chapter 2.
Yes.
We have the new Ben Affleck movie Hypnotic, which that does look interesting. I just don't know if I care to see that one in the theater.
Right.
There is a movie that does look pretty decent. It's called Knights of the Zodiac. It's based on an anime that is released this weekend as well. However, I mean, like, you're following up Guardians. Good luck. You know.
Yeah, I think most of the studios have given up Guardians until Flash comes out.
Yeah, we are getting Wizard of Oz at the theater this week, and Leia is gonna. We're gonna go see Wizard of Oz. Because Leia, have you ever seen Wizard of Oz?
Nope.
I failed as a parent, Brian. My kid has never seen the Wizard of Oz.
You know what? Just remember, there's no place like home.
There's no place like home.
The thing on the back of your shirt is a school.
Yeah, you want to say hi to Brian?
Hi.
Hello with the blue tongue.
You want this?
Hi, I got blue tongue.
Sure.
Leia, hi. Have you been eating Smurfs?
No.
Are you sure? Because your tongue is awfully blue.
No, it's just slime liquor. It's this little rolly thing with some stuff inside of it, and you lick it. And my flavor that I have is blue. They take a while to finish.
Fantastic.
Gonna call you Gene Simmons. All right, kiddo.
Are you drinking beer?
I am drinking beer.
Ew! Ew! You're gonna kill me!
She doesn't like the smell of beer.
Well, that's one way to kind of get some privacy.
Right?
By the way, Bradley, the last time I met a girl named Slime Liquor, I owe her child support. So,
was it because of the box under the bed?
You know, there's a time that we all are Smurf blue. All right.
Right.
So,
what are we talking about today?
We are talking about Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I know you've seen it a couple of times. I'm going to see it again this weekend myself. You and I went and saw it this past Sunday. As usual, the folks over at your movie theater were fantastic. And it was great to kind of roll through, say hi, and get to introduce myself as, again, the wife, the tag team partner, the podcast other half, and then just sat down and watched really, in my opinion, one of the better films that Marvel has put out for a lot of reasons.
Yeah, to me, I actually liked it better the second time than I did the first time. I think maybe I missed something the first time. It was also midnight, so, and it is a pretty decently long movie.
It's a little under 2.5, yep.
Yeah, but it's such a great movie, man. It's such a great movie. Oh.
And like anything with Marvel, you have to sit through the entirety of the credits, too, just in case. So when Marvel puts out a movie that says 2.5 hours, you're pretty much going to be in or around your seat for the full run time. Mm-hmm. So you're right. Starting that at midnight, so you're looking at easily 3 a.m. before you're walking out of theater. So absolutely, I can get how you might miss a couple of things. And seeing it again, that's also my plan. There was just also a lot in the movie, and I think got to give kudos to James Gunn. Mm-hmm. This one, and I think that's been probably the best part of the Guardians films, and we dive a little more into this, is each of them is... Actually, I was thinking about this. Each of the movies are actually pretty different. I mean, they hold on to the same core cast and add to as far as the Guardians lineup, but the tenor and themes of the movie really, changes and ebbs and flows each one. So, that is the sign of great storytelling. James Gunn has written and directed all three of these, including the soundtrack. So James Gunn does not sleep. The way that it really took on really some both darker tones when it comes to emotions, as well as darker tones when we talk about violence. It was without a doubt the most violent of the films. Mm-hmm. Not gratuitous, but definitely had more fighting and more aggressiveness out of the Guardians for very good reason, without getting too much into spoilers, but also that reason evokes a lot of emotions. And, I think we both were dealing with a little fighting back, a little ocular perspiration.
Yes, I think that is right. Man, so before we go into super heavy spoilers, I do have a little bit for you here. I got to do a Lone Star, but before we get into that Lone Star, do you want to take a stab at what Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is rated on IMDb and on Rotten Tomatoes? So let's start with IMDb first.
Okay.
All right, so this is out of 10. What do you think?
And IMDb is critics, correct?
It's both. You can do
It's,
critic and yeah,
in audience. Okay,
yeah.
the regular folks. Okay, and it's a score out of 10. I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
give it. I'm gonna give it an 8.3.
You're really close. It's actually an 8.5. So definitely
Wow.
good
Okay.
job.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, now Rotten Tomato. All right, what do you think the Rotten Tomato? Oh no! I was looking wrong. Yes, you are absolutely correct. 8.3.
Really?
8.3 out of 10 tomato meter. What do you think the tomato meter is in the audience score?
And they use the same scale, right?
So they are out of 100%.
Out of 100%, this is the audience score.
This will be the tomato meter. We'll do the tomato meter
Yeah.
first.
Okay, let's do out of 100. But it's the audience. Audience tend to go a little higher. I'm still thinking only about an 84.
Okay, so is that your just total score for the tomato meter, or is that your audience score?
Let's do audience score first. So the audience score is on what scale? What's the audience score scale?
Say both up to 100%.
Okay, so yeah, audience scale score, I'm gonna give it an 84.
Okay, and then what do you got for the
critics?
Tomato meter? So this is everything.
79.
So it is rated fresh, and so that's at 80. So it is actually 82% fresh. So good job.
All right.
And the audience scored this at 95%.
Wow.
So yeah, so I mean, a very, very.
I thought it would be high, but I thought because the last time we did this, and I think we did this for John Wick, and the audience actually rated it lower than the critics. I thought, well, maybe it may have some discerning eyes. I really like the movie, and it being in the 90s doesn't bother me at all. So from just again, it's one of those movies that you go to and you enjoy. Again, it's a fast. Similar to when you look at Endgame being 3 hours, I can't remember how many times I've seen Endgame.
Right.
It is a very fast 3 hours. Juxtapose that to John Wick, which seemed like somewhat of a long 3 hour. Well, the third hour was long. The first 2 hours were not bad, but the third hour took some effort. And then when you look at Guardians Volume 3, it to me was a pretty quick 2.5 hours.
Awesome. All right, so here is the Lone Star review.
Yes, let's hear this insanity, sir.
And I will try to be as dramatic as possible. The title is 100% Pure Garbage from May of 2023.
Time out. Does this mean that they are the Guardians of Garbage, or are they the garbage of the galaxy?
The
like
garbage.
This
garbage of the galaxy.
This person needs to like specify which G are we replacing with garbage. Okay.
I mean, like, that should have been the title, and this person is already off the bad start that they couldn't even put that together.
It was right there. How do you just not do
right
that?
There? Yes.
Right.
Cons. Entire movie. There's music that's forced and completely unnatural. Adam Warlock is so cringe. It caused me physical pain. Every single line read by actors felt unauthentic and robotic. Jokes are terrible. They drop the F-bomb in the car scene. Peter keeps asking Gamora why Gamora doesn't remember him. Like, how is he confused? Movie was legit worse than Love and Thunder. At least Love and Thunder had an absolutely shredded Chris Hemsworth, 90% naked, and Natalie Portman. The costumes were so bad. It was the only funny parts of the movie. There's moments so cringe with Rocket that half the movie theater laughed, and it wasn't supposed to be funny. Pros. So many cringe moments that my 9-year-old son looked over at me and asked if we could leave. Stranger sitting next to me asked me if his eyes were bleeding, which made me laugh so hard that I was then shushed. Someone brought a baby that cried, giving the only performance of the movie genuine emotion. Conclusion. Any rating above a 3 for this movie is a bot or a Gen Z that loves cringe for the sake of being different. The CGI screenplay between actors, writing, casting, music choice, and general direction of events were all competing for being the worst part of the movie. The MCU has been finished since Phase 4. And in this movie, they demonstrate their resolve by continually stabbing it. It's over. Completely over. And this movie really lets you know it's over. Brian, what do you think of that?
Okay, so I just double checked. 344. $344 million. That's what the film has made.
Mm-hmm.
$344 million. So if the MCU was over at Phase 4, if the movie had no value, $344 million, or I like to call it Tony Stark's pocket change. Now, the person did have one legitimate point, two actually, which is, you know what? Natalie Portman wouldn't have hurt this film at all.
No.
Natalie Portman in Love and Thunder was not bad. Okay, yeah. The Mighty Thor was mighty fine. And by the way, Chris Hemsworth in that movie, while he was shirtless a lot, there was only one scene that he was 90% naked. So,
and it was like 10 seconds.
Yeah. So again, Alan Hemsworth understands math. The other part that also I will agree with is the love story. This is where we might get into some spoilers. Is the dynamic that existed between Quill and Gamora for the bulk of the film. So if you, and I'm going to assume people have seen Infinity War and Endgame. If you've not seen it by now, well, you deserve to have spoilers. So we know that the Gamora character, because again, they play with time. It's always so much fun, right? Yeah. But they play with time in the fact that the Gamora that which we knew through Guardians Volume 1 and 2 and the beginning of Infinity War does die at the hands of Thanos, her daddy. And through the plot with the playing with time, we get the Gamora from the 2014. So the Gamora who actually is even before the original Guardians movie. So it would have been the Gamora who eventually would have met Quill and joined the Guardians. So this Gamora does not have any memory of Peter Quill and all their romance because she didn't do that. All right. It was a completely different person. He does appear to struggle with that fact of the reason that she's not in love with you, dude, because you are pretty much a stranger. You guys basically met while you're fighting her father, and during that fight, she basically kicked you in the nether regions, and joined her sister in battle, and she walks away, right? And she's joined the Ravagers. And by the way, we see in Thor: Love and Thunder, since he mentions that movie, Quill actually seems to be not happy about what happened, but he seems to have made his peace with it in Love and Thunder. In this movie, he's gone a complete opposite way, where he's basically drinking himself into a stupor. So yes, if you're going to give this any type of credence, that little dynamic was a little thing of why is he, I could get him being heartbroken, but he does keep kind of go back to, you know what, if you really basically search your feelings, Gamora, and you will realize you love me, when she honestly had never met this guy and they had been apart, but since basically the end of Endgame. That being said, that is the only real things of note, and also the Mighty Thor is mighty fine. That is this. The soundtrack is phenomenal.
Dude, I have been listening to freaking Rainbow since you've been gone several times. And I have to say this. Ooga chaka, ooga chaka.
So anything that James Gunn, especially these types of films and television shows, Peacemaker, anything that gets done with his hand in it, the soundtrack is absolutely impeccable. And they brought in the Zune, which again, I was one of those people that was not going to get an iPod. I had a Zune. So seeing the Zune just makes me happy, right? And it did have superior storage space. Just saying. But there was nothing forced about it. And by the way, Bradley, remember, there is no sleep. No sleep till Brooklyn. All right. And the theater we went to, I don't think anyone, again, maybe he went to a showing that people just didn't quite get it. There are lots of dramatic scenes involving Rocket. No one reacted with laughter.
Oh God, no.
And let's also just take a minute with Adam Warlock, which I loved.
So did
their take on Adam Warlock. Let's remember, Will Poulter, the guy who plays Adam Warlock, who plays him, was previously best known for in We're the Millers being the guy who got bit in the nether regions by a spider.
Yeah.
Okay. That dude didn't skip shoulder day. Okay.
No.
Okay. This is the same actor. There was no body double. This guy did some serious gym time to get ready for this. So you got to give him credit. And again, I really liked the way they gave us, honestly, what they gave us with Drax in the first movie, that uncontrollable thing. And I love the take again that we have between him and Aisha from the Sovereign, and bringing in the High Evolutionary, which I told you before, two of my absolute favorite Marvel villains that we've not had a really good representation of are Mr. Sinister and High Evolutionary, and they did a great job with the High Evolution. Dr. Doom, they need to bring as well. Yeah. I'm getting the feeling we're getting Dr. Doom when the X-Men make their appearance.
I agree.
He's between X-Men and Fantastic Four. Doom will be around.
Yeah.
Tangent, because this is what we do. Marvel, if you're listening, and we know you are. All right, folks at Disney. All right, here at 101 Mouse Lane, whatever you call it. All right, here's the thing. Number one, do not give Dr. Doom magical, magnetic, liquefied powers. Do not make Dr. Doom infected with some weird virus where he's on an alien planet. Simply give us a rich dude who has so much self-hatred, he sticks a metal mask that's hot onto his face. That's what we want. That's the candy that Daddy likes. We want a similar, simple, straightforward Dr. Doom. The guy is a megalomaniac, and so here's what you should do.
That is the box under the bed.
That is the box under the bed. That is what is in the case that Marcellus Wallace is trying to get back. Okay, what you need to do is find you a QAnon meeting, interview a few people. Okay, you know what? Go get George Santos. All right, go get George Santos and show him the man with the iron mask. And go, or get take the best parts of Destro and just give us that. Okay, that we want a very simple Dr. Doom. We don't need anything special, and give us John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic, please, and pretty please.
Well, the rumor mill is Adam Driver right now.
I wouldn't hate that. I wouldn't either,
man. I'm actually, you know what? If Adam Driver is Mr. Fantastic, dude, that I think that's pretty good. If we're not getting John Krasinski, and we get Adam Driver, you know what? You got me.
The only thing that I want him to do is, if they give us Adam Driver, I want him to make his nose move. Okay, I want him to take that wonderful, nose and just make it go like Tabitha from Bewitched. If you don't know the reference, Google. Okay, I want to do something with the nose. Which we should, in a future episode, we should fan cast who would make up our Fantastic Four. If they're giving us, let's say, Adam Driver's Mr. Fantastic, who are filling in as Sue, Johnny, Ben Grimm, and honestly, to me, the most important character in any Fantastic Four project, which is Dr. Doom. All right, you got to give us a good Dr. Doom.
Yes.
All right, so back to your review, and then I'll put the pin in this from my 2 cents of it. Is I thought the acting was actually really good. I think they were authentic. moments. And the best part, which we'll talk about when we dive deep into the movie, and that's one of that was 2.5 hours long. They gave you really good in-depth moments for each one of the Guardians. They gave Quill, they gave us a lot of stuff with Quill, a lot of stuff with Gamora, a lot of stuff with Drax, a lot of stuff with Mantis, a lot of stuff with, now yes, I'm naming them out, with Nebula. They gave us stuff with even Kraglin has some things. And come on, Cosmo,
Dude.
Cosmo was just fantastic. With, I hope they give us maybe a Marvel show or short giving us like what happened to Cosmo between the launch and being found, with the telekinetic powers. I loved the little voice box that they did. I want a little more Howard again, as you said. I think give us a little more Howard the Duck, but overall it was really good. The only thing that was missing was I kind of wanted the head of Nowhere to go against Unicron. That was just, I want that so much. Like, give me.
Yeah.
So Beast Wars, figure out how Michael Bay go make friends and somehow give us Nowhere Head. That would be the best name of an alternative rock group, right?
Nowhere Head?
Nowhere Head.
It has to be a name.
If no one is, like, seriously, if there's any musicians listen to our podcast and you're trying to think of a really badass band name, seriously, Nowhere Head.
Dude.
Nowhere Head. But spell it N-O-W, I mean K-N-O-W, not N-O. So yes, Nowhere Head. I think it'd be beautiful.
And if Brian and I have a new podcast called Nowhere Head soon,
yes, we may trademark that. Like, hey, give us $1, you can have it. Yeah.
Nowhere Head.
The acting was strong. They put a lot of pins in parts of the story. And again, without getting too much into spoilers, it answered a lot of questions about, will there be a volume 4, what that volume 4 may look like, and all those things. But for your 1-star review, if you don't mind putting up our little metric of how we're going to grade this from the haterade scale.
The rage rating, 1 rage emoji.
Yes.
There is some rage. You want to rate the movie or want to rate the 1-star review?
Let's rate the 1-star review. We can rate the movie in a moment. Let's do the review first.
0 to 25% Dumas is 1 rage emoji.
Yep.
25 to 50 is 2 rage emojis. That is, the rage is clear.
Yes.
And there are valid points made.
Yes.
The review is more opinionated than realistic.
Yes.
This person is 25 to 50% Dumas.
Dumas. Yes.
Dumas. 3 rage emojis. There is a lot of rage, and they make no points as to why. This person is 50 to 75% Dumas, however you want to do it, and 4 rage emojis. There is so much rage that is actually funny. This person is 75 to 100% Dumas.
I gotta say with this one, I gotta give it a 3. They weren't uncontrolled with the rage, but they really, they had legitimately taken out the whole Mighty Thor is mighty fine thing. They did have a legit question about the narrative, which is the dynamic between Quill and Gamora. But I thought for, again, a movie that is meant to be about folks, basically about a bunch of space pirates, it got so much into the humanity of these, and some of which who are non-humans, but the humanity and how again, I said it when we watched the movie, this movie really establishes how the Avengers are a team, the Guardians are a family, and they left no doubt of that to how the movie played out. And I don't see how you can watch the movie and not pick up what they're putting down. So they got to get 3 rage emojis from me.
What do you give them as a percentage? 50 to 75%. Are they on the high scale 3 or are they on the lower scale 3?
I'm going to give them a 65.
65%? You know what? I like it. I'm going to follow suit. 65% sounds good. You are a 65% Dumas, the person that did this rating, this 1-star review. Man, and I agree with all your points, especially the Gamora one. I will say, did you watch the Christmas special?
I did, but I don't remember that much of it.
Yeah, I mean, so part of the reason why they kidnapped Kevin Bacon is because Quill is grieving over the sort of loss of Gamora.
Right.
So I mean, like, but then it goes back to like, I know it's hard to accept,
Sure.
However, like she's out there, you can win her back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that was my biggest problem with the movie. I loved how it would focus on Rocket.
Yes.
I loved so much in that movie. So
I mean, they really established again, and again, this is again a definite spoiler alert. If they're making a change with the leadership of the Guardians, they set that up perfectly.
Yeah.
And by the way, did you see that the ASPCA actually gave the movie an award because of how it recognized animal cruelty and how animals should be treated.
I don't doubt that. That was good.
Yeah, it was, and it was just, hey, we want to commend the film from literally scene one. With that, and of all the characters, and many of them have major story arcs, but when you look at, and I got to give Bradley Cooper so much credit. A lot of people talk about Groot, because Groot definitely is a merchandise, especially for little kids. And Ving, I don't know where I got Ving Rhames from, but Vin Diesel, basically for the most part saying 3 words and emoting through those 3 words in the various incarnations of Groot. So there's been 3 movies, so there've been 4 versions of Groot and 3 movies. And obviously, even when you get into the Avengers with Endgame and Infinity War, but then Bradley Cooper really has just, and again, and it's voice acting. Bradley Cooper, who was an amazing actor, period.
Yeah.
Like Bradley Cooper's what he lends to Rocket, just the way he emotes verbally, and honestly the special effects, which again, the criticism in the Lone Star Review was the special effects, understanding that when you look at the film, Groot and Rocket are special effects characters. Gamora and Nebula have tons of makeup, as does Drax, as did Yondu, as does the High Evolutionary, as does Adam Warlock, as do the Sovereign, and it looks killer.
Yeah.
Not to mention, it's in space. The entire film is in space.
I mean, it's a space opera.
Dun, dun, dun. Now, here's my question then. Which would you rather have, sir? This is because here's an impromptu tat.
Okay.
Which of these would you rather have? Would you rather have of these 3 space weapons? Luke's lightsaber, Yondu / Kraglin's arrow,
okay,
or Shang-Chi's rings?
Lightsaber for sure. I mean, I'm sure I'm
really
cutting off one of my own limbs. Well, one, I can't whistle.
I'm not very good with well, neither could Kraglin. That was kind of the rub. And by the way, good job, Sean Gunn. Yeah.
And I mean, Shang-Chi's rings would be pretty cool, but I mean, a lightsaber. I mean, yes, I will not end with all my limbs. I'm sure that if something's getting cut off, I'll probably be in prison for something. But yep, lightsaber. I'd have to be a lightsaber. I mean, like, hopefully there's like a child mode on there.
Yeah, exactly. Well, think about it. You're training as a Padawan. You're blindfolded and given this like white hot space sword, and hey, don't lose anything. Yeah, like at least the Last Samurai, they gave him the wooden swords. Like, what do the Padawans get? Like, you would know.
Well, there's training lightsabers.
Okay.
There are. I mean, I don't know a lot about them, but yeah. But that was just like in the Clone Wars when they have the Padawans like practicing. Like, are they like? Can you adjust the intensity of the lightsaber?
Right.
Like, this one can't go through the door. I mean, I
just, as much as I love you, man, I just see you like sitting down to like write one of your books, and you've got the lightsaber sitting on your lap, and it fumbles around and zing, and now we have a tragedy.
Right.
Yeah, and they're running you to the med bay. Yeah,
what's in the box?
Yeah, what is it? You know what? What's in the box used to be on my body. That's where it is. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
How do you not take Shang-Chi's rings? I mean, the lightsabers look cool, but
they do.
Shang-Chi's
And
rings.
they're
Come on,
safer.
man.
And they're definitely safer for
I
sure.
mean, I'm just thinking like the rings would just be like the most. I think that's the best weapon they have in Marvel right
Mhm.
now. Would be that I should have, instead of like, okay, a lightsaber versus a dark saber.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I'm still gonna go lightsaber.
Okay. And my last question to you, I think this is amazing. We've been doing this for over a year. Which saber is your favorite?
My favorite saber would probably be Darth Vader's.
Fair,
I
fair,
mean,
fair. And mine has got to be Mace Windu, right?
oh god,
First
yeah.
off, it's purple, but then
Right?
the other piece of it is it belongs to Mace Windu, aka Samuel Jackson, when the L stands for. So that is just that's got to be a thing, right?
Oh
That's
yeah.
got to be a. By the way, uh, um, we've talked a little bit about this as Star-Lord's story evolves from this.
hmm
Do you with Nick Fury being an ace, do you think Nick Fury recruits Star-Lord?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Actually, that was gonna be one of my questions to you. Like, when
Oh,
do you think we're gonna see the legendary Star Lord come back? And I think we're gonna get a cameo of him in Secret Invasion.
I was gonna say the same. I was
Mm.
absolutely gonna say the same. Also, I think um, we may actually also get. I would not be shocked if he is in the after credit scene of Marvels.
That would be good, dude. I think Marvel's looks good. I,
Marvels
I
was
mean, I know a
fantastic.
lot of people were kind of mad about it, but like, I thought it looked good, man.
I think the trailer looks good. Now,
Yeah.
again, and I think I've read some of the folks that are worried about the film, and I think what the criticism a lot of been because you've not seen the trailer. The basic premise of Marvels is you take three characters who are aligned with the name Marvel. So you
Mhm.
have Kamala Khan, Miss Marvel, you have Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, and then you have Monica Rambeau, who is Quasar, who in a previous version of the
You mean
character in the
Photon?
Photon, excuse me.
Quasar, we
Yeah,
actually we can talk about in a
we'll
second.
talk about Quasar in a second. But Photon, who also is known as Miss Marvel in the comics. So
Mhm.
those three characters, their powers get entangled, and when they use their powers, they somehow teleport, move to where the other one was. Now, obviously, if that is a movie that's all there is for, let's say, 2 hours, that would get old. That obviously is not going to be the entire narrative of the film. And if you can see, as they release more and more spoilers, more and more trailers, there's definitely a fight scene that shows them using that to their advantage. So
Yeah.
I completely trust that the story is going to be told, and by the fact you have a Marvel movie led by three very, very strong characters, strong actresses.
Mhm.
Especially, I just love Kamala Khan so much that I'm really looking forward to this.
I really want a young Avengers movie. I want to see Miles Morales and I want to see Kamala Khan work together.
Now, remember, Miles, I think isn't that character still licensed to Sony? I think the Spider Verse still
Maybe.
comes out under Sony. Now,
Yeah,
this is
you're
where I
and
get into
which
the nerdy thing, but
and we are only a couple weeks away from Spider-Verse. So we'll be doing another tribute. Oh, you bet your ass we will.
most definitely,
Well,
especially I already see we're going to figure out which are our favorite versions of your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. But you're right. I think we do need and we actually I think again now they've brought in the multiverse. You have the ability to have a true young
Mhm.
Avengers. You have number one, you have Kamala Khan. You have the Scarlet Witch's children in the other universe. You can definitely with Isaiah Maxwell, you can definitely create Patriot.
Oh yeah.
You have all the things. So you've got Hawkeye,
Mhm.
and with Ant Man and Ant Man and Wasp and Quantumania, you've got. And I still have not seen that one, but you have a character who, in the comics at least, goes by Stature. I'm not sure how they handled that in the movie. No
They're
spoilers
leading up
there.
to it.
Okay.
Yeah,
So you,
it'll be.
yeah.
I'm sure we'll get to Stature.
So even if you
And
don't,
you're forgetting one, Riri Williams. We have Ironheart.
yes. So by the way, she would be the leader. She'd be the leader.
And
yes,
that'd be a good play. You know who should be like in charge of all of them?
Vision.
No.
Who?
Shuri.
Yes.
Shuri should be in charge of the Young Avengers.
Yes.
Out of Wakanda.
Yes.
And the Young Avengers could be her
yeah.
Like I don't want to say squad, but like she could be like pulling all the strings.
Well, I mean, she already hit it when she talked to Ironheart what it's like to be, young, black, and talented. You definitely could see her being that mentor. She herself is a young, well, she's not officially an Avenger, but she's a young Black Panther. And probably in the lifetime of that lineage, she will be the youngest of the Black Panthers. She knows what it's like to lose, and she would want to create her own family, right? Because you got Toussaint, but definitely her pulling it together. You already got a connection with her and Ironheart, and again her and Kamala Khan I think will make a natural fit, and you could just see the dynamic. You would have very much Ironheart being all business. You would see Kamala Khan just fangirling it up. You would definitely see that. Again, you've got the other character, and again, if somehow and I really would like if you could somehow get, as well as Hawkeye, but if you could give us, Wiccan and Hulkling or whatever their titles would be, I just would think that would make a fantastic, and I personally would love to see it more as a Disney Plus series versus a movie, because I think again you could tell that as a serial form with that. So yeah, so again, Marvel, and we know you're listening. Just give us like 12 million a piece, and we'll put it together. We'll be your screenwriters. It's fine. Fine.
So, Brad, I have a couple questions for you.
Let's hit it, sir.
All right, regarding the movie.
Yes, sir. Let's hit it.
All right. What's the better battle song? Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song, or you know where I'm going?
Yes.
Beastie Boys.
Yes.
No Sleep Till Brooklyn.
No Sleep Till Brooklyn. But it is not only the song, but especially in how it's integrated in Guardians 3 specifically, the way that scene is shot literally in time with the beat of the song, of speeding up and slowing down the frame. And you got to really see the savagery that's brought out in a good way. That none of us fight harder for anyone than our family. And that was, we're going to put it all on the line for our family member who needs us. And you saw the brutality come out in that. And I thought that was just, again, just fantastic. And you saw, it was almost like a video game cutscene in a good way. Not video game cutscene like in Doom, but like a good video game cutscene. It was fantastic.
I do concur with that, man. Like,
by the way, I have listened to No Sleep Till Brooklyn about a million times since Sunday. Yes,
dude. It has been a while since I've listened to Beasties.
Yes,
and I have been listening to a lot of Beasties lately.
Yes.
Dude, like, I always thought like the battle song from the Beasties would be Sabotage,
Right.
But dude, man, yep. No Sleep Till Brooklyn, man, and that's. And we're going back to the beginning of Beasties. We're going early 80s.
The Ill, man. That was yes.
Man,
yes.
Oh, so good.
Yes. Just real quick as an aside, I remember the first time I heard No Sleep Till Brooklyn, and a buddy of mine, name's Rodney, literally had to come. I did not believe him that they were just three white guys. I'm like, no. No. I was like, wait. And then, of course, we're old enough that when the music in MTV was a real thing, I'm like, wait, what? What? These are like kids that went to my high school. Wait, what? What? They're not even like scary. But what? What? Like, I would go to their house and drink like Zimas. Like, this is a
Right.
thing. Like, what?
I
Yes.
mean, you would go there and fight for your right to party.
Bruh, yes. Yeah, I remember seeing the Beasties and going, are these Ferris Bueller's brothers? Like, what is happening here? So, yes. So, hands down, No Sleep Till Brooklyn. And that may be my ringtone on my phone at this point. That may be my new battle cry.
Nice.
Is that. Yes. Only if I can get a Blue Ravagers outfit.
Very good. Very good. All right. So, do you think that they will do anything with Jason Quill or Quasar?
They have to do something with Quasar.
I mean, man, like,
Yeah.
man, they could. Do you think that Quasar could have been Ravager back in the day?
Well, well, I think it makes total sense, because also remember this. Star-Lord was on Earth during Endgame, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you assume that, this big alien battle that happened, in Africa, 5 years after everybody disappeared, there probably was a little bit of media. So he very well could have seen, like, okay, Peter Quill is still alive.
Mm-hmm.
But he recognized a grown man as, his grandson. So I personally think that yes, Ravager, and B, I think there would definitely be some backstory of that. 'Cause I think that's where you'll get some of that legendariness coming from. By the way, go ahead and give us a quick spoiler. The reason you keep us hearing us say the legendary Star-Lord is that it's one of the things that comes at the end of the film is they refer to him as the legendary Star-Lord. Well, legendary talks a lot about, having some type of lineage to it. So not only has he been Star-Lord, I think I think he finds out that not only does he have ego on his side, but also the connection to Quasar and all those things. So I think that probably is what happened. And that wouldn't that make sense though, if it is, again, maybe that's why Ego picked his mom even. Is she's a Ravager's child, and that would explain why he went to the Ravagers to go get Peter, and without having to work that hard to find him, right?
Yeah.
So I think definitely we get some Quasar, and I think again I think Marvel's gonna go. This is more than what you asked me. I think the two things you're gonna see happen so much more in the upcoming phases of Marvel is continuing the integration of magic and science, magic and space, and the multiverse. I think you will continue to see those things. So I think you're going to see people like Quasar and those characters with that. Maybe we get the Shi'ar Empire. Possibly we may even get, and please let this be further down the line. Maybe we'll get a good version of the Phoenix.
Yes, a far down the line, guys. But Quasar does have several connections to mutants as well.
Yes.
Absolutely. So I mean, I honestly thought that they were going to lead into Kitty Pryde. I thought we were going to get a Kitty Pryde.
Okay, yeah.
Because Kitty Pryde takes over the mantle of Star-Lord after Peter Quill.
Yes.
But I'm glad they didn't do that. I like what they did with Rocket and the new team and everything. And we can talk about that as well. But man, like I really want to see Nick Fury realize that Quasar or Jason Quill.
Yeah.
He knows him in some way or form.
I mean,
he knows.
You can't tell me that especially if there are Ravagers. First off, if Ravagers have visited Earth, or Terra as they call it, if you've had Terran Ravagers, of course Shield will be aware, right? 100%. Especially since with the whole deal going back to Captain Marvel, and again, Marvel tends to weave together their various products. So Captain Marvel, Nick Fury even says it, that Shield had never looked up until Captain Marvel showed up. And now what they learn about, they have, number one, they have space vehicles, which they get in Captain Marvel. They understand with the Kree and all these things, like how would they not have some type of exposure again to the Ravagers? Because multiple Ravagers, aka Stallone, look human. Now, so did the High Evolutionary before he went all High Evolutionary. Or as Quill would say, RoboCop. All right.
And Skeletor.
Yes. Could you imagine me being Peter Weller watching this movie? Like, wait, really? Wait. Seriously? Okay. At some point, and this is getting in nerd deep, at some point you'd have to see, okay, if Peter Quill was taken by the Ravagers at this time frame, what movies would he have missed? Because he makes a lot of really relevant Earth pop culture references for someone that's lived in space since he was 8 years old. I think he's in his early 30s by movie chronology. Like, the part of me goes, do they have like Netflix in space that you can keep up on all the Terran pop culture references? But that's just a nerd deep moment. All right, what else you got, sir?
That is curious. I'm curious. We're gonna unpack that in another episode, I think, for sure. All right. Do you think that the soundtrack for this movie was picked before the movie was made?
I'm going to say yes for no other reason than this. I've read in multiple interviews by James Gunn that he says he picks the soundtrack first.
Okay.
That
cool.
is actually what guides a lot of, not that he doesn't, read the comics and get stuff from source material, but one of the big things that pulls together the movie for him is that he uses the soundtrack to connect the dots. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure if not the entirety of the soundtrack, there are definitely pieces of it that he had outlay. In fact, he said that very much for Guardians Volume 1, is that he had the soundtrack done before the full script of the movie, and that guided the movie.
Nice. All right. Now, can you name the 2 classic characters that Chris Pratt's Star-Lord is based on? So he's inspired by 2 classic characters.
Oh,
wow. I did Guardians of the Galaxy trivia last night at work. So this was one of the questions, and I did not know this, but it made absolutely perfect sense after.
I'm just gonna tap out on this one because I definitely see, because I think it led to why Guardians 2 had the casting. I'm sure there's something inspired by Kurt. I want to say, if you had said individual, I was going to go David Hasselhoff and Kurt Russell. Okay. But when you said characters, I'm there's too many that are popped in my head. So
I'll give you a hint.
Okay.
I'm gonna give you a hint. I'll give you one of the actors that portrays one of the characters.
All right.
Harrison Ford.
Oh, Han Solo.
Yep. And that's one, and then there's one more.
I'm sure this is wrong, but seriously, I don't know why. Because again, I'm going to play the old man card here. I see so much Burt Reynolds and Smokey and the Bandit. I don't know why I see that, but I'm sure that's wrong. Who's the other character?
Marty McFly.
No, it makes sense.
It does make sense, doesn't it?
It does make sense.
Perfect sense.
The Walkman, the pop culture, so much. Even how he talks to Jan. Yeah. Yes.
The jacket. This jacket. The orange.
And by the way, the Milano. By the way, if you watch the first 2, where they have the Milano as their ship, when he guns it, it sounds like a car engine. Mm-hmm. It doesn't sound like a spaceship. It actually sounds like a car revving up, which would make, again, kind of goes back to that. So now I just want to know, sometimes they got to give us a little Christopher Lloyd somewhere, and somewhere I just want to see the legendary Star-Lord hit 88 miles per hour. Like,
that'd be so cool.
Yeah. I got to find a flux capacitor. I'm sure there's something on Amazon. I think this would be like the coolest thing to have at your desk would be a mock-up of like lights up like a flux capacitor. Like, I think that'd just be great. I think that'd be fantastic.
Awesome. And then one more question for you. All right. After seeing this,
yes, sir,
and knowing that his time at Marvel is done, how do you feel about James Gunn's DCU?
Very hopeful. So this is the thing. It's going to be a loss for Marvel. I mean, that is one of the reasons why I think this probably is the last Guardians, because I don't think anyone can take that mantle. I mean, you may see the Guardians in other products, but I think this very. I am doubtful we will get a Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 4, right? You may see again something where Rocket and the others show up. Obviously, with the 2 Avenger movies coming up, versus him going over to DC. I think it's fantastic. The only thing that'll really do this is we've said this before, and I think I mentioned this in the previous podcast. He cannot go to DC and make Marvel movies, because if I want to watch a Marvel movie, I'll go watch a Marvel movie. So he'll have to do basically what they did with Peacemaker, is amp up some of the violence, some of the language. Yes, we actually had an F-bomb in Guardians Volume 3. And it show you how good the movie was. I mean, that's the whole thing. Watch it to catch the F-bomb. I remember like, oh, that was the F-bomb. Oh, okay. But I'm thinking he's going to do a great job with them revamping so many of the films. I think it'll be really good. I just hope that he takes the time to make really good movies. And again, and I've said this before, James, if you're listening, I was honestly stray away from. This is what they should do, which is what Marvel did. And this is one thing they should replicate with Marvel, is they save those big main characters for less Batman, less Wonder Woman, less Superman, way less Superman. And focus on those. How good was the GSA and Black Adam? So
awesome.
Those types of things will really, I think, will get people invested, because everybody knows Batman's story. Everybody knows Superman and Wonder Woman's story. You can keep making Aquaman movies, Flash, because those are of the Justice League folks. Those are not known as well, but I really am excited for what he does. I just hope, like anything else, sometimes the environment changes, the results change. So I really hope Mr. Gunn creates something really good, and hopefully DC gives him the space to really make the DCU the Gunverse.
Correct, man. Now, I figured the last thing that I want to do for the episode, is we all know that James Gunn is a huge fan of putting his friends in his movies. So
yes, and his brothers and his children,
right.
and his wife
and his significant other who's only in one DC. So let's go ahead and put some of the people into DC. Let's start with Chris Pratt.
Okay.
Chris Pratt, where do we put Chris Pratt? So I was kind of thinking either Hal Jordan, or Bruce Wayne Batman.
No, not Bruce Wayne.
I mean, it's Brave and the Bold. You can go a little bit. You can, man. I think he might do an okay Batman.
He's funny, and I mean this as actually a negative when you're talking about Batman. Batman is a very serious. So Batman always has a comic relief around him. It doesn't come from him. So that's why you need lighter characters, like we've seen portrayals of the Penguin and Alfred and those folks that can bring some humanity. He's meant to be this very stern, dark character. So I don't know about that. Part of me thinks that if you bring him in, I was actually surprised that you didn't, because it seems like every time we find someone want to put him in a DCU, we say it should play this character. But I was really surprised you didn't say Booster Gold. I am really surprised that one didn't hit you.
Yep, it just did. He just smacked me with that one right across the face.
Yeah. I could see.
Okay.
I could see that, or I could see I could see an Arsenal, or Speedy / Arsenal. I could see an older Roy Harper with him as well.
I like that. All right, so let's go to Zoe Saldana. Where in the DC? I would say Catwoman.
Yes, I give you all the Eartha Kitt vibes, right?
Yep.
I could see that. You know what? If they completely redid Superman, I could see her as Lois Lane.
So I was actually just reading a little while ago. Have you ever seen the show Outer Bank? Outer Banks.
Yes, yes.
So the blonde from that, I guess, is top choice for Lois Lane. I guess I didn't really read into it, but I'm like, cool. She's good looking. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. But
yeah.
Zoe can handle very serious characters. Again, we keep talking about casting it. What about Zoe as Big Barda?
Now that's interesting.
You know,
I like that.
Who says that Big Barda has to literally be big? You know,
I mean, they can make it. I mean, they can make it seem that way too.
Yeah, and they can just call her Barda too. She can just be a badass chick. You know, how about that? How about you actually just, since they've already had the chemistry, why not bring
Scott Free
and Big Barda? Absolutely.
Oh, dude, I like that a lot too, man. I really like that.
Yeah.
Oh boy. All right. So let's go Bradley Cooper. See, this is where I was going to put Booster Gold. Was Bradley Cooper.
Okay.
But I like Chris Pratt better because for Booster Gold.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm thinking Bradley Cooper, man. Yeah, I know it's an easy one, but I mean, he could. I think I'm going to go back to Batman, and I'm going to say Green Arrow, and I'm going to say, man, like, could he pull off a Lantern? Maybe, or if we look over,
if someone from the MCU was gonna play Batman, Bradley Cooper would make sense. He's in really good shape. He's got that strong jawline that will look good underneath the cowl. He's got really good acting chops. You know, he can be. I mean, if you saw Star is Born, he can play Broken really good.
Yeah.
You know, I really think we've not really seen him in an action role, but again, those are things I think he can totally pick up there. I could definitely see him in that type of role. So yeah, we're gonna put our buddy Bradley Cooper in as Batman.
All right. So now he was Rocket. Now we might as well just hit up Groot right now.
Okay.
But on a quick sidetrack, somebody told me this, and I love this. The reason that we heard "I love you all" at the end is because like somebody was saying that if you're family to the Groot, you can understand what
they say. Yeah,
and that is because the audience became the family of Groot.
Yeah,
and he was actually saying that. But anyway.
Yeah, by the way, how great was that scene because Gamora could not understand it? She was saying, like, you're just making up what he's saying. And then he's behind her and says, I am Groot. And she understood, and it hit her that she understood what I am Groot meant.
Mm-hmm.
That was such a subtle scene, but beautiful. And again, so whoever wrote that Lone Star review, watch the movie again.
Yes.
Do yourself a favor, watch the movie again.
And don't have toxic friends.
Yes. Yeah.
Vin Diesel.
And whatever nephew you took, like leave him at home next time. Leave him at home.
Right. You know, and I think that a lot of that review was like half bullshit. Like
Yeah.
All right. Vin Diesel, man. I was thinking Orion for
that. Yeah.
Yep. I was thinking Orion or Kilowog.
Kilowog is the voice. Yes.
You could do the Kilowog.
Totally do.
Honestly, man, I kind of almost wanted to go to Sinestro, but I don't see him with that mustache.
Yeah. I don't.
And you got to have that mustache for Sinestro.
You know, again, if we're saying, and especially recasting people, what about if we're gonna do Sinestro? What about your boy Liam Neeson? He's already been the Dragon's head. So put him in there as Sinestro. You know, he's already got. I mean, he's already got he already rocks the goatee and mustache from most of his films anymore. So just update Sinestro's, some of that facial hair, and I think he could pull it off really good.
And we know a guy that can do that for him. Kelly.
Yes. Kelly, we got you.
We got you, buddy. Yeah,
we got you. Okay.
So we got Vin Diesel. We had Bradley Cooper. We have Zoe Saldana. Karen Gillian. That'd be. Man, the easy one is Poison Ivy. That's the easy one, the ginger.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I could see her as Lois Lane as well.
She could play Lois.
Dude, Karen Gillian's such a good actress, and she's got that like that Jumanji thing where she can just go kick ass,
Yeah.
I think she could make a really good.
A serious hot girl.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely
hot woman. Because again, also red hair.
Lana Lane. Lane, Superwoman.
Yes.
If we're gonna do Superman Legacy, I mean, Legacy means there's a legacy there.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be pretty cool. Let's see here. We got Karen Gillian. Who else do we need? We got we have Drax the Destroyer, Dave
Yes.
Bautista. I mean, the
When the
easy
head
one
wrinkles, man.
is you're right. The easy one is Bane.
Yes.
I mean, honestly, he could probably do Kilowog as well.
Yeah, I like Bradley Cooper better. I mean, not
Mm.
Bradley Cooper. I like Vin Diesel better because of the heaviness of the voice. But yeah, you're right. I think Dave Bautista Bane would make sense.
What's that other Green Lantern that's that's got the beak?
Yes, I can't think of his name, but I know you're
because that'd be a good for Sean Gunn. Sean Gunn would make a good for. But anyway,
yeah. Or honestly, another one potentially for Vin Diesel, Swamp Thing.
Oh damn! I think
that?
That is my favorite. I think that
defending
that
the green,
great.
That slow kind of growly voice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he would do great. Again, when it comes to that, I think that would definitely work. I really also want them to give us a really good new Dr. Fate, because again, I think Pierce Brosnan was so good. So good as Dr. Fate. I want to get a really good Dr. Fate. I think Albus Dodd has already got Hawkman. By the way, could you see him and Karen Gilliam again? That would be a great movie. I think you just had that as the, Hawkman, Hawkwoman is probably what they call it, which makes sense. But those two, they found each other over and over and over again. I personally think that would be there. So let's talk about folks that have passed away as we finish up, is at least their characters. So then you've got Idris Elba.
Actually, before you get into that.
Oh, you have some more?
I got a couple more, yeah. Oh, actually, what about Zoe Saldana?
Yep.
As Zatanna? What about Karen Gillian?
I'm stuck on the word
as Black Canary. Zatanna, yeah. Okay, yeah. That you just brought up when we went into more of the dark stuff with Swamp Thing. All right, what else? You're talking about Idris Elba.
Yes, I was thinking again. We had a few characters that their characters have, especially when you look at Love and Thunder and the Thor franchise, you got a few people that their characters are not going to be used at this point because they've now gone to Valhalla or wherever they go. So Idris Elba, where do you see him if he wanted to do something in the DCU? Where do you see Idris?
Highfather.
Yes, I like that. Again,
Highfather. I think he could easily pull off Highfather. I mean, dude, honestly, if Zatara, he could be Zatara to Zatanna.
Yes.
I would be down for that.
Yes.
Honestly, man, like is he old enough to be Alfred?
I would use him as Lucius Fox more than
Lucius
Alfred.
Fox. Yep. Yeah. Lucius Fox. Okay.
All right. I like that.
That's really good. So we got the Batman in the Superman world. He could probably be Perry White.
Yes.
But I would rather him be something more. I mean, Lex Luthor, maybe.
Yes. I would love him as Lex.
Yeah, I could see that. I could see him as Lex Luthor.
I would love him as Lex. I think he'd do a great job. So Sir Anthony Hopkins, where do you see him?
Ooh, from Odin over to, I mean, like, Highfather again.
Yeah, Highfather, but that's our theme, right?
Right.
By the way, because if you haven't noticed, we want a New Gods movie really badly.
Really bad. We have been talking about this for months.
We really want a New Gods movie. There would be that, but no, that runs into the thing of, hey, if you play, I remember when Richard Harris died, R.I.P., and there was so much talk about having the same actor that played Gandalf playing Dumbledore, and it's like, same character, not so much,
right?
And then the last one I'll give you is Robert Downey Jr.
Ooh, that honestly, he could do All-Star Superman.
Okay.
So we got an older Superman. Or I don't want him as Batman because I think that's easy.
Yeah.
I think. Let's see here. I would like to see him in prosthetics, and he could be one of the guardians of Oa.
I got one for you. What do you think about this one? Because he was a hero for so much of the MCU.
Okay.
We're gonna make him a villain. Vandal Savage.
Oh.
The immortal Vandal Savage. Absolutely. Because then you could use him similar to, and I think again
Mhm.
to piggyback the difference between Marvel and DC. So the unifying character in Marvel has been Nick Fury. So basically a good guy, right? So what if the unifying character in the DCU, if you're going to have the interlocking universe, which they're going to have an interlocking universe, if you had the villain behind everything, which could be Robert Downey Jr. So it will probably be a less intense filming schedule. He could show in with some, some Easter eggs, that extra scene, show him here and there. Downey plays broken and misunderstood really well. So you got this guy who's been cursed with the ultimate knowledge, and because Vandal has always, to me, was less of a villain and more of a not really an anti-hero. That's still somewhat heroic, but he did seem someone that is misguided. That his ultimate goal is to bring about peace, right? Very similar to Ra's al Ghul. They just have a very broken way of doing that. So I could see him almost trying to justify his actions, and I think him as, again, Vandal Savage would just be incredible, and having again that person moving the things behind that, really being the chess master behind that, and that being again how you really set yourself away from Marvel, is that a unifying character, instead of it being Nick Fury and Shield, being Vandal Savage and his group, running things from, again, literally from the shadows.
I think that's super interesting, and I think it'd also be really cool to almost do the exact opposite of what Marvel is doing, and have the connecting tissue through the villains,
Mm-hmm.
and make the heroes, like, they win, but the villains get away,
Right.
and they regroup and they form
Right.
the oh
Legion
god,
of Doom.
Legion of Doom, right?
Yeah.
And that's what you build to, man. Yeah, that's brilliant.
The other thing, as we put a pin on this one, is the idea that the heroes win the battle, but the villains win the war.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we lost in this one particular movie, but we got something on the end that we are again moving towards, like the anti-life equation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we're getting pieces of the anti-life equation. Again, I still think Dennis Haysbert as Apocalypse, you couldn't find anyone better than that. But then if you juxtapose Dennis Haysbert as Apocalypse and Idris Elba as Highfather, and you began to fill those things in, I think that would just be a great series. And you've got Robert Downey Jr. as Vandal beginning to move there, and you could just see him boot. Can you imagine seeing him just boon to at the end, like an extra scene?
Mm-hmm.
So you've seen the movie, and at the end of it, there's a boom, and then there's Robert Downey Jr. just looking all dark and mysterious, and just gives them, like, I told you, because again, he's smarter than there. He's the smartest kid in class, right? Him just running that. So again, that's how we're gonna run it. And again, James, if you're looking for some folks, hey, come hang out with us, man.
So I love that, and here's how that works, right?
Okay.
So the Legion of Doom gets the anti-life equation throughout the movies that they all were in. You can crisscross it with the superhero movies,
sure.
So that, you see the parts. But after the anti-life equation is used, we go into deceased.
Nice.
Where where we now become a zombie franchise, and you have zombie superheroes. And who is the big hero of deceased, Brian? Do you know?
Oh God. It's not Jordan, is it?
It is Green Arrow.
Oh, Green Arrow. Oh God, I'm horrible. I'm horrible. Okay. All right. So we gotta. Okay.
I got to get you to read it. I have the books. I
Okay.
need to bring you some.
Okay. Hang on. Last fan cast then before we finish up. Then who's your ultimate Green Arrow then? Because you are the Green Arrow junkie of the duo. Who is your perfect Green Arrow?
So I want Austin Butler. I want Elvis as my Green Arrow. I want him a little bit younger.
Sure.
I want him to be a little bit. I want him to be funny. I want him to be quippy. I want him to be a dick. I want him to be like. But Green Arrow. So as Batman goes, and he could go all these places. Green Arrow doesn't care about any of that. Green Arrow just wants to be a street level hero.
Yes.
And you got to do what you got to keep him with the green. He's got to team up with Green Lantern, and he's got to team up with Swamp Thing.
Yeah.
You know, I honestly I liked what
Green Arrow has really no friends. He has allies, but again, he's such a douche that for the most part, people get and because he can't intimidate people the way Batman does. So people get annoyed with him, but it's that street level. I like that.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Awesome, man. That's perfect, dude. I think that's good. That's a good ending. I think
James Gunn, give us a call.
Right, and you know how to contact us. So, Brian, do we have a human of the week this week? Because I don't.
My human of the week, honestly, is, again, we kind of talked about him several times, but I'm just going to give it up to James Gunn. You gave us a great run in Marvel. You got to do cool things in DC. And I'm just really impressed with, there's all of his products. I'm just a huge fan of from Peacemaker, the Guardians franchise, the things he's going to do. So James Gunn, also because I really want a job. James Gunn, you're the better than us human of the week. Come call us, man. We got you.
And I will concur with that. Brian, where can we reach you?
As always, you can find me in the Book of Faces at Brian Stephen Dennis. I try and keep it light, keep it funny, and usually would throw something about Winnie the Pooh up about every week.
Yes, and it's amazing. You can hit me up on the Book of Faces as well at The Fandemic, TikTok at The Fandemic 1. If you want to support the show, there are several ways to do so. You can buy us a coffee at buymeacoffee.com/thefandemic. We'll toast you and roast you on the next episode. You can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/PVOTN Fandemic. Become an episode assistant, an episode producer, a pre-venge producer like Stacy. Or yes, you could be part of the con, the Council of Nerds, starting at around $5 a month. You can just share the show with someone you want to make a little more awesome. Don't forget to leave us a 5-star review and keep the conversation alive in the comments. So, Brian, we're at max levels of awesome.
Bury that needle, sir.
All right, let's go ahead and end the show on a positive note. What are your words of wisdom?
My words of wisdom are always that we appreciate you joining us each and every week for our Pandemic podcast. We really enjoy talking to all of you out there. And remember, never give up, never surrender, and Goonies, never say die.
We're all playing the same game in life, just on a different level. You're welcome for leveling up your awesome. Live free or die empty. If you think about it, every time you feel stupid, you just got a little smarter. Squirrels' cheeks are also their nutsacks. And remember, don't let today end in a Y. Didn't I? Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All my jubes.